Roy Sullivan was struck by lightning 7 different times. Not 7 close calls, not 7 storms where lightning hit somewhere nearby. This man was struck by lightning 7 separate times. And somehow, he survived every single one of them. It eventually got so ridiculous that Roy started carrying water around with him because lightning had a habit of setting his hair on fire. And I'm not making that shit up. Roy Sullivan was a park ranger in Virginia's Shenandoah National Park. He spent much of his life outdoors. He knew the mountains, he knew the woods, and he knew the weather. But apparently the weather knew Roy too. And the first time it found him was in 1942. Roy was working around a fire lookout tower when a thunderstorm moved in. The tower kept getting struck by lightning. So Roy did what any sensible person would do. He got the hell out of there. He ran from the tower, and lightning struck him. The bolt burned down his leg and damaged one of his toenails. But Roy survived. Now, for most human beings, that's your lightning story. You tell it for the rest of your life. Yeah, I got struck by lightning once. Roy was just getting started. 27 years later, in 1969, Roy was driving his truck when lightning found him again. The strike knocked him unconscious and burned his eyebrows and eyelashes. That's 2. The following year, Roy was standing in his yard when lightning struck nearby and jumped to him. It burned his shoulder. That's number 3. And then came 1972. Roy was working at a ranger station when lightning struck him again, and this time his hair caught on fire. Roy managed to put it out. That's 4 lightning strikes, and by this point, something had changed. Roy had become genuinely afraid of thunderstorms, and considering his track record, I think we can give him that one. But then came 1973, and this is where Roy's story gets almost impossible to tell with a straight face. Roy was driving through Shenandoah when he noticed a storm forming. According to Roy, one particular cloud seemed to be following him, so Roy tried to get away from it. He drove down the road, the storm kept coming. Eventually, Roy thought he'd gotten far enough away, so he stopped and got out, and lightning struck him again. Number 5, the bolt hit him in the head. It knocked off one of his shoes, and once again, Roy's hair caught fire, except this time, Roy was prepared. After what happened before, he started keeping water in his vehicle. So Roy Sullivan, now a 5-time lightning strike survivor, managed to get to the water and put his own damn head out. But apparently the sky still wasn't finished with him. In 1976, Roy got hit again. This strike injured his ankle. That was number 6. By now, Roy wasn't the only person getting nervous when storm clouds rolled in. Other people reportedly became uncomfortable standing near him during thunderstorms, and that actually bothered Roy, because underneath the absurdity of this story, there was a real man who had become genuinely afraid of something that he couldn't control. He watched the sky, he tried to avoid storms, he tried to get away from them, and apparently none of it mattered, because on June 25th, 1977, Roy Sullivan was out fishing, a storm rolled in, and somehow, for the 7th time, lightning struck him. The bolt hit the top of his head and traveled through his body, burning his chest and stomach. And old Roy Sullivan survived again. 7 strikes, 7 survivals. Guinness Book of World Records eventually recognized Roy Sullivan for surviving more lightning strikes than any other known person. And yeah, when you first hear this story, it's hard not to laugh at just how absurd the whole thing sounds. But imagine actually being Roy. After a while, every dark cloud meant something different to him than it did to everybody else. Everybody else heard thunder and thought, looks like rain. Old Roy Sullivan had 7 damn reasons to think, here we go again. Roy died in 1983 at 71 years old. But after everything I've read about this man, I still can't get past that number. Once, terrible luck. Twice, unbelievable. 3 times, what the hell? But 7 different times the sky reached down and hit Roy Sullivan with lightning. And 7 different times that stubborn son of a bitch survived it. Well, I'm Levi Crow and believe nothing, question everything.